The election cycle is impacting so many of us, and it can especially cause stress in the workplace. So joining us now to address election day uncertainty and stress is leadership consultant and change expert Michael Lopez. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get right into it because I've always been told don't talk about how much money you make and don't talk politics on the job. So where do you stand on this issue?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, this conversation has become more prevalent, even at work. We hear it all the time. People are more and more comfortable. Years ago, we talked about bringing your whole self to work. And so this is part of that. And I think people are really willing to step into that conversation. So it's opened a whole new realm for us to be ready to participate or opt out. And so there's a lot of strategies to talk about and how to do that.
So when people do open up, I guess, the gates when it comes to those sorts of debates, what are we seeing in terms of stress? And what's your advice?
Yeah, I think there's two dimensions. So there's regulating yourself and then interacting with others. And, from regulating yourself, it's important to understand that you do not have to participate in a conversation if you don't want to. Now, that doesn't mean you might not hear hallway chatter or be in a meeting and have people talking. But certainly as an individual, you have the right to step away. And that's important to remind yourself of. In terms of interacting with others, I always try to counsel people to remember that at the other end of this conversation is a person with experiences and backgrounds and culture and beliefs, and they're deeply held beliefs. And so if we can approach that with a bit of curiosity, a bit of empathy, it helps us kind of stay grounded and not really trip past that emotional threshold that I think we've all experienced in some of these conversations.
And simply agree to disagree. You can leave it there as well. I know a lot of people, too, are worried about job security, depending on the outcome of the election.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the last 18 months or so, have been a difficult time in the economy. It's a big part of the debate that's going on with the presidential election, as it has been with just about every other election we've had. I think it's important to remember that your job status and security is a function of not just the election, but the broader economy, what's going on within the sector that you work, your competitors. Have you just been through a layoff with your company? Where are they at with their cost profile? So I think it's helpful for people to understand that it's not just one thing that drives that conversation. So that can bring a little bit of comfort. When we think about, where companies go next, they're not just waiting for the election. There's a bigger picture going on.
Finally, Michael, if you can, we know that big election day is Tuesday, and we may or may not know the outcome of it on that particular day. But what's your words of advice to people who have made it this far through all of the debates and discussions?
Yeah, I think it's really about staying patient. These things take time. And given what's happened in the past, it is going to take a few days. We can expect that. Most companies have really great resources, employee assistance programs, counselors that can help people if they are feeling stressed in the moment. Many companies will give people the day off to go vote and take some time away. I think it's really important to just give it some time, reach out to those that you trust, talk to your HR leadership, talk to the different programs that you have. And then really, be present with yourself and kind of take care of yourself, get good sleep, eat right, exercise if you can. All of those things are ways to kind of work some of that anxiety out of the system while we're waiting for this to shake itself out.
I put that all in my basket of control what you can control. Michael Lopez, thank you so much for your time and your recommendations. We appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thank you.
And that's where you can stay connected to Michael Lopez for info on that, but then just stress relievers in general. All right, Jacqueline.